Hello, my name is Russell Goodrick, and this is the first program in a new concept of visual newsletters for Westrail staff. In this and ensuing programs, we'll be bringing you stories and news from all over our system, from Albany and Esperance in the south to Geraldton in the north and Kalgoorlie in the east. Each program will be made up of a number of segments, and we'll be interested in hearing from you about anything that you might consider newsworthy. More on that later. But now, our first story. It's a story of the men that get little public kudos these days when it comes to rail transport. The men working on the railways used to be sung about and indeed were depicted in many a motion picture. But of recent times there's been little news. Here's a story that's helping to change that. The stretch of narrow gauge track from Kwinana to Picton is the heaviest trafficked line in Western Australia. It is a vital link in the state's export chain, carrying $1 billion a year worth of alumina, bauxite, coal, caustic soda and other consumables, and linking with Bunbury, our largest regional centre. By the late 70s, severe problems were being encountered with the line because of the heavier trains operating on it. Maximum speed limits were being reduced and maintenance costs were soaring. Westrail's answer was to upgrade the entire system, and in 1981, Caddy Proprietary Limited began, under contract, to renew the stretch from Kwinana to Mundijong. In 1983, the Westrail crew took over, and starting at Mundijong South, have worked for nearly 4 years at an average 1.3 kilometres a week in all weathers to complete the section. The main crew were based at Pinjarra and began most days at 7:15 in the morning, on site, as the last train passed over the section. The work is arduous and repetitive. Lift the dog spikes from the old sleepers to free the rail. Move the old rails to the side of the track. Remove and stack the old sleepers. Grade the existing ballast to the correct level indicated by the surveyor's pegs. Lay down new sleepers in the correct spacing. Place each 110-metre-long section of new rail in position on the sleeper plates. Clip up every fourth sleeper and then open the line temporarily for the next traffic. Later, all sleepers on the new stretch are clipped up. Then thermit welders de-stress the track and weld joints in the new rails. About 2 kilometres behind them, the tamping, lining and regulating of the track continues. Although much of the work was done by machine, there was still plenty of sheer physical effort. Some of it hot, some of it heavy, and all of it repetitive. It is the lot of the rail ganger that his work goes unnoticed. To passing motorists, cows at breakfast, cows at play. Except the foreman keeping a watchful eye. And a dubious reward is a kiss from the boss. There are over 100 Westrail staff who have contributed to this project. And on July 22nd, 1987, the Minister for Transport, the Honourable Gavin Troy, commended their work.
I'd like to thank all of those employees, from whether they be management, engineering, supervisors, or the track gangs themselves, and all of those associated with it, in the splendid task that they've undertaken here with this project.
A job that will ensure that the new system will cope with increased traffic well into the next century, and a job well done. 1.5 kilometres of track a week. That's not bad going. Turning now to matters of national interest, we present an important story with ramifications for all of us.
We'd like to introduce you to Rick. No, not that guy you've seen on the backs of buses or heard on the radio flexing his muscles for Mr. Kalis. This is RIC Rick, the Railway Industry Council. And to tell us about it, the Minister for Transport, Mr. Gavin Troy. Mr. Troy, what is the Railway Industry Council?
The Railway Industry Council is the formation of a tripartite group. It has represented on it those unions that are involved with railway occupations. It has the railway organisations themselves, the systems, and it also has government transport people involved in it to give the broader perspective.
Well, how did it come about? What's the background to RIC?
Well, there's been some concern at the poor performance of Australian railways for some time, and in Western Australia we've been leaders in addressing that problem, but we certainly feel there's a much greater potential for railways overall if coordination improves across those, and that's been the initiative from this state to certainly move with the Railway Industry Council to achieve those improvements across the board.
In recent years, we've seen some quite dramatic changes in the image and the operation of Westrail. What do you see as the future of rail?
I think it's a very exciting one, provided these changes occur across the board. Certainly, in the case of Westrail, they've been the leading railway authority in this nation, and that's now well accepted, I think, within the nation. The initiatives that they've taken are certainly ones that can be picked up on by all other systems, and I believe this Rail Industry Council will go a long way towards them understanding the initiatives that were taken in Westrail from both the trade union movement's point of view, the management point of view, and the broader perspective of where rail fits in a national land transport scene.
Well, in doing that, is it going to be able to tie the whole industry together and make advances on a national basis?
Well, we're hoping that it will, and I've got every confidence that it can do that. There's been certainly some petty state jealousies that have existed in the past, but I believe the rail industry generally now recognises that it is in a very fierce world of competition with the road freight industry, and that it will better sustain that challenge by operating in a cooperative way.
Mr. Troy, thank you. Back to Russell.
Graham Hunt speaking with the Minister for Transport, Gavin Troy. And the Minister will be on board the inaugural journey of a new service which is soon to arrive. For residents in the southwest, it means a faster and more relaxing way of getting to Perth. And for Perth residents, an ideal way to start that get-away-from-it-all holiday. A lot of thought has gone into the new service, as you will see by this next report, our cover story.
"9:30am on Wednesday morning, and the 6-day-a-week passenger service, Australind, is being platformed at Perth City Station. Australind is a name most train travellers associate with nostalgia. It evokes feelings more of a pleasant country ramble than that of public transport of the 80s. Its ageing carriages and now obsolete design may have been quaintly endearing, but efficiency of operation and customer needs have finally caught up. Soon the Australind as we know it will be no more. With the introduction of Western Australia's first all-new passenger service since the early 70s is a train to take its place. Enter the Australind of the 80s. Although the name remains, it is there that the similarity with the old Australind ends. The new train will provide a 110 km/h service between Perth Station and the new Bunbury terminal. Passengers will enter a new era of faster, quieter, more comfortable train travel. The Australind's 5 cars are of stainless steel monocoque construction, just over 20 metres long and powered by an underfloor mounted Cummins diesel engine. Auxiliary power is supplied by a separate diesel coupled to an alternator. From the outside, the new train looks most impressive in its Westrail livery, matching the Prospector and the state's road fleet. But by far the greatest design changes are to be seen on the inside. The cars with driver's cabs seat 40 passengers, and the self-propelled non-drive cars 60. Although passenger transport is a numbers game, every thought has been given to ensure that passengers enjoy a relaxed journey. Wool blend carpeting is a thoughtful inclusion, along with body contoured seats. The seating both reclines and swivels. In each drive car, 2 of the seats are removable to provide a space for those who have to travel in a wheelchair. Fold-away tables are also provided. Westrail has remembered mothers with children and small babies. Each toilet contains a nappy-changing table, and again provision has been made for the disabled. Babies not only have to be changed, they have to be fed, and all cars have a curtained-off area for nursing mothers. There's a luggage alcove in all cars, and in addition, the non-drive cars have space for the storage of bicycles. All cars on the train are air-conditioned. On the express journey of about 2 hours, and the slightly longer trip including stops, passengers can take advantage of the galley, operated by a stewardess and providing light refreshments along the way. One of the most impressive design features is the field of view. All of the windows are double glazed for noise and heat insulation. They are wide and set low to give a more panoramic effect. Even the crew cabin is the very latest design and built in consultation with unions' cab committees. The driver's view is clear and uncluttered, and the cabin is air-conditioned for comfort. The braking system and controls provide stopping power superior to previous designs and set new safety standards. Another first is that the driver can uncouple cars without leaving his cab. Brian Henderson is one of the 2 drivers detailed for testing the new train.
Yeah, it's comfortable, it rides well, and, travels fast. From our point of view, we've got a lot better vision than what we've had with, earlier type rail cars and that. You've got, driving from the centre with the wide, full-width windows, and our fault-finding indications are a lot better now. We've got lots of lights with each individual fault that lights up. Hopefully we won't need them, but they're there if we do.
The train will consist of 2 to 5 cars, depending on booking demands. Non-drive cars permit access to the buffets by way of safe, sealed, concertina interconnections with automatic opening doors. Westrail and the travelling public can be proud of the new Australind. With every consideration given to comfort, surroundings, speed and safety, it will be 2 hours from Perth to Bunbury or return. By the end of 1987, Western Australians can expect a new era in train travel. The new Australind is about to arrive.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed this edition of Westrail News. If you have any ideas or suggestions of people or places you believe would make a good story, please drop us a line at this address. We'd love to hear from you. Our address is Public Affairs, Westrail Centre. To take us out, a report on 2 people that we hear a lot of but very rarely see. An old friend, Ted Bull, speaks with a lady that 6WF listeners have come to tune into every morning. An integral part of the breakfast show is Westrail's Thalia. Together, Thalia and Ted have turned the early morning high wheeler report into compulsive listening.
And it's 18 to 6, and that's DeBarge here on 6WF, and it's that time of the day. It's a Monday morning, and let's say good morning to... Hello, Thalia.
Good morning, Ted.
I'm a little nervous, Thalia.
You shouldn't be nervous.
Oh, yeah, I am.
You're used to this sort of thing.
No, not at this time of the morning, having a film crew in, actually filming you and I talking at this very same time. What are they like? What's a mob like you're with there?
Quite nice.
Yeah? You don't sort of feel intimidated?
Yes.
Tell me, did you get tarted up for today?
No.
You're just wearing the same old trackie?
Yeah.
And the same old Ugg-boots?
That's right.
Come on, be honest with me.
Definitely.
Come on, you got on your best outfit.
No, I haven't.
What are you wearing today, Thalia?
Jumper, tracksuit, Ugg-boots. You're not going to see them. You're only seeing the top half.
Oh, really? I really feel they should do a close-up of your feet.
Oh, now, come on, that's not nice.
Hey, Thalia, how about, this business going on this morning and the train's late?
I know. You would have thought we could have organised it better, wouldn't you?
No.
No? How about a vote of confidence for the Westrail?
Okay, well, what's happening then?
Okay, it's the Trans-Australia, and it's 1.5 hours late.
TANOT.
Due at 8:30.
Due at 8:30.
And Colin McAway's looking up.
Okay.
Oh.
Thalia, have a lovely day.
You too.
And back to normal tomorrow.
Good, thanks, Ted.
Bye-bye. 5:45, 6WF.
Now the night has gone, now the night has gone away. Doesn't seem that long, we hardly had to wait.